Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at XRP, see if we can uncover the magic of the pump. I won't take too much of your time up, it's just a quick overview. So we're looking at things on the 4 hourly here. So yesterday we've got our 4 hourly golden cross on the Tether pair and on the Bitcoin pair, which is both a good setup. It's not a signal in itself. What ideally we would be looking for would be a retest of these moving averages when we come down to test it. So it doesn't have to happen, but we do notice on a lot of occasions that these do get retested, whether that's the 50 or most bullish would be the 200, and we'd see price action dump down into these where we get picked up and basically prove that that's a bullish support now and not just a red herring event. So that's good. Golden cross there, good for a golden cross over here. That's all very nice, very good. What do the longer term time frames suggest? So we've already uncovered that on a 4 hourly that things are looking okay. The daily we're getting a rejection on the 200 exponential, which is fine because we've moved up quite far, quite fast, and for XRP, the 200 exponential is a love-hate relationship. They do like to reunite all the time, and while you're below it, we have to expect rejection. When you're above it, we get a good move from it. So this goes back since its entire history, really. We just think about where the bull market began for XRP, not for the whole market, but for XRP. Consolidation trend line ended over here, multi-year consolidation trend line. Reclaimed the 200 exponential, had an initial move, reaccumulated among the 200 exponential, and went on for a much bigger move. So this was over 200% from the reclaiming it from the top to the bottom. 200, almost 300%. Broke back down and turned it to resistance. Broke out and then went all the way up to this. So you get this mountain and a molehill effect. And that's what we got here. We got our mountain and a molehill, So really what we'd be looking for would be a new mountain, but while we're below the 200 exponential we can't really expect that, and as we're underneath this giant consolidation trend line we shouldn't really expect it either. I think what we'd be thinking about is that because we were looking for a retest of the 4 hourly golden cross, we'd be looking for a pullback to around the 70, the lower 70 cent zone first. This is in a perfect world, and then from there turn around, reclaim this. So I suppose this is kind of what we'll be looking for. Price action to come down, retest this kind of level, breakout, rejected from here, retest, breakout, and again when you get a breakout of a formation like this, you give it a measured move, and we did this the other video. It more or less takes us to around roughly about $2.10, roughly, give or take. And so that's the kind of direction and move that we'd be looking to see from this. In the short term though, I would want to see a little bit of downside just to cool off the RSI and the money flow index and the MACD as well. All of those oscillators need a little cooling off period, because otherwise it's going to limit the size of the move and probably won't even be able to make a breakout from this zone. Obviously we need a stable or positive market to achieve all of this, but because we've got the same kind of indicators brewing on both the Bitcoin and XRP pair, it does correspond to what is likely to be a big move once those areas are reclaimed. So we can see the 200 exponential has already been reclaimed on the on the daily for the Bitcoin pair, which is good, and that's obviously good. Any sign of strength against Bitcoin is an altcoin worth trying to trade. Now I hold loads of XRP anyway. It's one of my main preferences for coin futures, so I've managed to stockpile tons and tons and tons of XRP down the years, really, just through doing coin futures on Bybit, really. So I've got like a disgusting amount of XRP just stuck in a ledger, really, just sitting there, just doing nothing for the most part, really. I have a rule for myself, which is to only trade with 10,000 XRP on my coin futures account. Any more than that I make as profit either gets sold, for just a bit of pocket money for myself, or goes into the cold wallet, basically, for long-term storage. So I do like to watch the XRP chart for what it's worth, even though it looks like this, because I do think that there's going to be a massive turnaround on this at some point soon, as we always see these long drawn out consolidations that do end with an enormous big pump. This is the way it's always been since 2013. It has long drawn out consolidations, then very big, fast, aggressive, big pumps up. And my overall target really has always been about $4 for XRP, and I'll probably sell quite a lot of my a large portion, maybe even half of my cold wallet stored XRP at around about $4, and let the rest do its thing. Because you just never know, do you? But I think $4 has always been my preferred target, and obviously I'll still keep the 10,000 float that I use for coin futures on Bybit. It's always going to be there, just doing its thing. But yeah, for the moment we're still in this consolidation, and although we do have signs of life on the 4-hourly, that's pretty good. If we go down to the Ichimoku Cloud, let's see what's brewing over here. So on the daily, there's no signs of any signals on the daily here. On the 4-hourly, they're still in play. They're still playing out. So we had this continuation of a trend form. So this is where the trend began. Or at 61 to about 62 cents was the entry signal. And that's still in play. We just need to get this Chiku span to stay away from the price action. And this is still a trend in the making. So we can sustain a drop, so long as it's a pretty fast V-shaped recovery from this. Otherwise, this would be an end of trend formation, and then we'll be looking for this to reaccumulate and maybe make some signals on the higher term timeframes. So at the moment, what we're looking at here on the 12-hourly is actually a signal in the making, and this could generate the power for it to continue up, at least to the top of the trend line. Remember, Ichi clouds of this nature, which is a pump signal rather than a continued trend signal, offer just one big stab up. And at the moment, we closed one of those about 12 hours ago on our last it was literally only just opened now, so that's a confirmed signal over here. So that would suggest one big move up actually. So that in itself, because it's a 12-hourly signal, could take obviously a few days to play out. It has generated now, and it wouldn't be void if we go down. So unlike the 4-hourly chart where there would be a void continuation of a trend signal, this can continue down. This could go down to our targets of the the lower 70s, and then springboard up all the way up to the $1 zone. So whether we dump first and then pump, I think it's got a general idea of where we want to go, which is this trend line here, and probably we'll give or take $1. I know $1.05 or $1.04 is a very strong support resistance area. We had a fair amount of price action around that zone, and so I think this is a general target that we'll be looking for. So maybe a wick to about $1.04 based on this 12-hourly signal, not necessarily from this exact entry point. Like I say, my preference would be a dump down into the 70s, maybe the lower 70s, and then a springboard up from there, piercing this and then going up there and then coming back down and then generating some more bullish accumulation around the 200 exponential on the daily. So we are looking for volatile moves. We are looking for a down, an up, a down and an out. That's essentially what we're looking for. So it's not really a place to be entering around here unless you're looking for the long term, which is probably, arguably, provided Bitcoin is stable for a couple of weeks, we're only going to be looking for a trade that, in the short term to take us to about $1. But the entry point, for a safe entry point, would be a dump down into the lower 70s, and then a move up to the trend line here, this descending trend line, probably a rejection, then a support on this 200 exponential, and then a breakout, and not to the left, but a breakout to the $1.04 or so. That's how I see this playing out. It doesn't obviously have to play out, but me and XRP, we've got a good working relationship with each other. We kind of understand each other, and sometimes there's something that goes deeper than charts. There's a long-standing friendship that's taken place between me and XRP. I kind of see it as a friend, and I know how friends react in certain situations, and I know how XRP likes to react in certain situations. So at the moment, we're looking for volatility. We're looking for a dump, hopefully, then a pump up to the resistance, then a dump down, reaccumulate around the daily 200 exponential, then a breakout, and then see where we go from there. I mean, that would be a breakout, depending on how overheated we are on the money flow index and things. We could then go straight up to the $2.10 zone, which is very likely, given the way that it moves very quickly, very fast. But we would want to see some signals, preferably on the Ichimoku Cloud for that. But I think XRP is currently brewing some very serious moves between now and March, so I'm very excited to see that happen. But it does require a stable or positive market first for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's in a bit of a will they, won't they kind of vibe right now. No particular major signals taking place on daily for Bitcoin. And on the 12-hourly, nothing quite as positive as XRP. All we've got going for us is the 4-hourly, which again is a little bit well, I mean, it's good, but we do want to retest this golden cross, which is also the CME gap, which is why I'm saying that not only XRP wants to retest the golden cross, like most things do, but Bitcoin, you know, it's being drawn towards this area because there's a very strong horizontal level of support being about 41,000. There's also the CME gap just below there, plus the golden cross. So there's a lot of reasons why we want to see a dump around here. We want that because we want confirmation that this is actually support now, and we can then move on to the next level, which I think is going to be around 46,000. Right, I'll leave it with you there, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.